Welcome to day 11. We're actually reporting on day 12, but I believe it's day 11 anyway. And I've got some fairly good things to talk about today. So the first thing I want to talk about is empathy and something that I struggle with, which is a big ADHD contradiction. I think we can be very, very empathetic. I think that's one of our big traits. But also, I think because our brain's continuously spinning around, thinking, it leaves us in a state where we often provide solutions earlier than maybe we should, and that's something I'm a big sucker for. And something I learned during therapy was people don't want solutions. You know, if someone comes to you and they're talking to you about their problems, a lot of the time it's just because they want to be heard, and that's a difficult one. I think, like I say, personally, me, because I'm an engineer, you come to me with a problem, I'm thinking solution. I'm just thinking, cool, let me find a solution to your problem. And that's not often what people want. And I think there's two things going on here. Well, it's probably just the one thing, actually. I think because our brain, once we're taking ADHD medication, is soothed, is just calm a little bit more. We're not as so eager to jump into a solution. We can sit there, we can talk, we can listen. And that's been a big thing for me. Now, I'm not fully there, and I don't believe that you should ever fully be there where you just purely listen and you don't give any advice, because that's sort of what people are there for as well, isn't it? And you don't want to be that person who's just yeah, cool. Let me just move this camera down a little bit. You don't want to be the person that's just there listening and not really doing anything with the things that people are saying. So that's a big thing. And I mentioned about therapy then. When I had therapy, my therapist really detailed the different dynamics, especially between males and females. Males are very results driven, so we want to hear someone's problem, fix it. Particularly, like I said, me, because I'm an engineer. Where females, they want to be listened to, they want to be heard, and there's something to be said for that. And if you can understand that, then it makes life, relationships a lot easier to manage. And that's something I've improved on. I'm still a million miles away from where I need to go. But that's something that's been a big thing of mine for a good while, way before I knew I had ADHD, way before I started medication. I just want to be a better person, or I want to be the person people come to and they can talk to about their problems, their worries, without putting them off because you're so results driven, or you'd want to give them a quick fix. And there's there's that part of ADHD where we want to give our side. People are talking, you because your brain's spinning so fast. You're thinking about it. It's I want to tell them this, I want to tell them that, I want to give them my experiences on this matter in particular. I think that element of that is great, and we should lean into that. But at the same time, they need to be heard. And I'm not going to paraphrase this whatsoever, but I read Stephen Bartlett's book a little while back, and I'm not even all the way through it, but it's broken down into lessons. I think it's 30 or 32 lessons. Lesson 4, it might not be 4, it's one of the first ones anyway. But he talks about business interactions. Now, this is a bit of a side tangent, but you can see where I'm going. So he talks about business interactions, and he was giving the example of, let's say you're the business owner, someone comes to you with an idea, and quite frankly, it's a bad idea. Now, the minute you say to them, that's a bad idea, you put them on the defensive, they're then being in defence mode, you're not going to have a healthy conversation. Whereas what you need to do is get some middle ground. And this is the empathy, isn't it? So you want to empathise with what they've said, it's coming from a good place, or if someone's coming to you with a problem, empathise with that problem. And then then get some middle ground, and then you can add in some of your suggestions along the way, but don't try and be too structured with it or too aggressive with those. And there's I learned a lot from that. I actually wrote that down every day for a month and a bit, just because that's something I'm particularly bad at work. Really bad for it. Maybe I'm not as bad as I was, but a year ago, you come to me with a problem that I didn't like, I'll tell you straight up, that's a bad idea. And just think about that. If you used to do the same to someone else, and you tell them, and they tell you it's a bad idea straight off the bat, it puts you in such a defensive state straight away. And then you're going to think bad of that person, they're going to think bad of you, not as a whole, but during that conversation. That's how the psychology works during these conversations. So yeah, that's a really interesting thing for me, and I've rambled on a bit about it, but that's quite like important to me, something I really want to get better at as a person, not just with ADHD, but I believe like in general, I think most people could be better at those sort of situations. Now, the second thing is, I think that comes with like this, because our minds are a bit calmer on ADHD medication, my business is absolutely thriving at the minute. It's doing really, really well. And just a little like wind back. So 2.5 years ago, maybe, probably about that sort of time, I was doing like 30k months. And that's not a gloat, like only 20% of that's profit. But I was doing like 30k in sales every month. And that was quite good. I was doing that for a while. And you think about like ADHD now, what I know about it. My dopamine was really high then because I was getting all these sales. I was really into it. It was a new thing. I was concentrated on it. Had all my energy. Then my energy died off a little bit. My dopamine levels were coming down. I lost interest. The sales went right down. It just so happens that I got a new job and the package was great. So it really took my focus off of becoming an entrepreneur and living my own life. Then I got a coach and I did a bit of coaching, and then we really brought the sales back up again to like 15, 20k a month. But I didn't really I don't know if this is the ADHD, but I didn't particularly get on well with the coach. It was a bit of a weird one. I don't want to badmouth the guy. He was a good guy. And then just recently though, I've dialed back into the business. This was before, probably just as I got diagnosed with ADHD. So well before the medication. But now I think the calmness in my brain, I'm really able to take the emotion out of my decisions. And for an example, what I mean about that is with running Facebook ads, meta ads, so they run across Facebook and Instagram, I'll get really passionate sometimes about a video that I've made or I've had made or I paid a lot of money to get made. And then I don't want to turn that ad off. And whenever you've got an ad running, it's costing you money. But now I'm really at a stage, and this sounds really simple now I'm saying it, but I'm able to look at the data and I'll give it a set time period. If it isn't performing, if it isn't getting sales the way I want it to, I'll cut it off. And it's took me a good while to get there, and it's also allowed me to dial in. So I used to pay influencers to make videos, and they were costing quite a bit of money. You can imagine, influencers, let's say the cheapest is like £60 per video, and you might need about 3, 5, maybe even up to 10 videos. You have to keep refreshing the ads all the time. But then I really had a good look at what was working the best, and which is brilliant for me. The best ads are the pictures of my products, just with a white background, nothing else going on. So it's really allowed me just to dial into them now, get all the different product pictures, maybe put like a little bit of a template in the background with some different colours, put an offer over the top of them. I've been able to work down all these different angles within something that's fully within my control. I don't require influencers to make content for me, and it's just blown up my business, which is absolutely great for me. And again, this is like that dopamine thing. Although the business has been going like 2.5 years, I really lost interest in it because I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere. And really, I should have had a mentor from the start. I don't know whether it's ADHD that makes me quite hard to mentor, I'd say, or it's because they're coming at it from the wrong angle. It's really hard to say, but that's almost an avenue I want to help other people with in future, because I've made so many mistakes in e-commerce that I could definitely help other people now. But I think one thing of that is the mind calmness. The second thing is I touched base, I rekindled a friendship with someone I had in e-commerce, and we just sat down, we chewed the fat, we spoke about ideas. He wasn't really directing me on my business, but just talking about e-commerce gave me so many more ideas. And this is the beauty of ADHD again, isn't it? Like, he was just speaking, mentioning random stuff to do with his business, and it was sparking my brain off, and I was having loads of ideas for my own business. I was then feeding stuff into him. We was back and forward. It was really, really good. So yeah, it's been really, really positive. Again, I will just give the caveat, like, you're not going to take ADHD medication and be a completely different person, which wrongly, in my opinion, that I did. I had this big hope that I was going to take this medication, and I've watched all these people say that it's like they're walking around the whole life without glasses on. They put glasses on, they can finally see. It's really not like that for me. There's small changes, which has made me doubt the medication. But what I'm getting to the stage at the minute is it is very much worth it. Those small changes are making me the better person, the person I want to be. Now, lastly, I'm going to finish on something a bit grim. So it's 20 degrees here in England, and it's been up to 26, maybe 28. I'm not really sure about the actual temperature, but it's hot. And I'm not a sweaty person, but this medication is making me stink. I'm not going to lie. It's really grim. But yeah, it's doing that. And for any of you that go to the gym, you've stood next to somebody who stinks of BO, and there's nothing worse. So I'm really paranoid about that. And at the minute, I'm just showering all the time. Which, yeah, is just, I don't mind, obviously, but it's just something to be aware of. It's definitely making me sweat more. Whether that's because my body temperature's raised. I need to check my blood pressure again tomorrow. I was meant to check it today, but I started eating, which is not a good thing. You need to do it fasted, really. So tomorrow I will do my blood pressure, see where that's sitting. But I think it's just making me sweat, probably because it's that amphetamines in it. It's keeping your body's like moving a bit faster, isn't it, internally? So yeah, a bit of a grim one to end on, but overall I think it's been a really, really positive experience. We are getting there. We're moving in the right direction. I think the thing that I'm saying about it doesn't change you is actually a really good thing. And that's what a lot of people are worried about. You know, they're worried it's going to take away their creativity and make them a different person. It's not. It's just going to, I don't even want to say like dullify your own personality, because that sounds bad in itself, doesn't it? But it's allowing you just to act and be the best version of yourself, because you're always going to be you. So yeah, that's it. I've rambled on for a bit longer than usual, but it's actually been quite constructive today, I think. I haven't just gone on a mad rant at the end. These videos are churning out now. Some of them are doing well, some are doing not so well, but it's good for me. This is like a bit of a therapy session. I'm also just trying to like see which YouTube thumbnails are working best, which titles are working best, and I'll just continue to make these videos. Like I say, I've got really, really high hopes for this channel. I want to get like-minded people involved. I have a community here of people who want to be involved, want to better their lives with fitness, e-commerce, start a business for themselves, and just live a better life for themselves. So all things like entrepreneurial, fitness, relationship stuff, mad little supplements I'm trying, how I'm feeling on certain medications. So yeah, that's it. Cheers for tuning in. Do all the good YouTube stuff, please. Please tell your friends, share it. We need to get some more views on these things. All right, cheers, bye.